Dear students, good evening. Welcome to Excellence IAS. This is Dr. Babu, your Polity faculty, and I will discuss the Polity key for this year prelims examination. I hope you wrote this examination best of your abilities. In this context, we want to announce that we are the first to release the key for UPSC Prelims exam this year. Okay, let's come back to the Polity questions. Before going into that, I want to discuss one important question. What can be the cutoff? This is the question which most of the students will come and ask me after their exam. I think that the cutoff will be around 95 to 97, not more than that, for general category. The reason is this. Though the paper appears to be easy compared to last year, it has many traps in it, because the sports questions were not asked before. These are, again, UPSC started asking it. Second, you have questions, one explains to our assertion reason type of questions we call it as. There is one question which is of assertion and reason kind. And certain current affairs, tricky current affairs are there. Hyderabad got some prize, that is a tree prize or something. In that, it is given by FAO, but they have given UN Capital Investment Fund. So like that, they have given certain traps where we can go wrong. We may feel that we have answered it right, but once we come out, we will realize that these answers are marked wrong. So that's why, considering these traps, I am concluding that the cutoff will be somewhere between 95 to 97. Now let's come back to the prelims polity questions. We adopted parliamentary democracy based on British model, but how does our model differ from that model? So UK model is a unitary system, we are a federal system. So that's why there is division of powers, and parliament is not all in India. Second, we have popular sovereignty, they have parliamentary sovereignty. In that context, the laws of the parliament can be questioned by the courts under its powers of judicial review. So that's the reason why answer is C, both 1 and 2. That is, British parliament is supreme or sovereign, but in India, the power of the parliament is very limited. Yes. Second is, the constitutionality of amendment acts can be questioned by the Supreme Court. The next question is about union government. So this question is a bit tricky. The Gopalaswamy Iyengar committee recommendations, I have read in full to prepare the answer for this, but administrative reforms and public grievances department, still it is not a ministry, it's a department of administrative reforms and public grievances. A minister of state is there for it. It has come in 1964 if I am not wrong. Gopalaswamy Iyengar committee was appointed in 1949. And by general tone, Gopalaswamy Iyengar committee was asking for reducing the number of ministries, not increasing the number of ministries. It was majorly pointing out on coordination issues, interministerial coordination. In this context, administrative reforms is too far a subject to be discussed in that particular report. So that's the reason why I am pointing it as wrong. And coming to this, Department of Personnel, it has come down in 1970. It was based on Administrative Reforms Commission's recommendation. That is, Hanumantayya Committee was the first Administrative Reforms Committee, and it has recommended for Department of Personnel. But it was not placed under the Prime Minister's charge. This was placed under the whom? Cabinet Secretariat. That's where. So it is not, it is not under the Prime Minister's charge. That is what we need to remember. So Cabinet Secretary was watching this particular Department of Personnel. So that's why this statement is also wrong. So my assumption why first statement is wrong is logical, because Gopalaswamy Iyengar committee was more looking about interministerial coordination. So administrative reforms and giving a separate ministry and minister for it is not even realized today. So that's why that recommendation is far-fetched according to me. So this is actually recommended by second ARC if I am not wrong. So let us see that particular thing. So first statement, I am not very conclusive, but second statement is definitely wrong. So by my logic, first statement also appears to be wrong. So that's why I'll go with the answer D. Right to privacy is part of Article 21. That is, see, Puttaswamy judgment, we all know that. Consider the following statement. In India, no law restricting the candidates from contesting in one Lok Sabha election from 3 constituencies. No. Now, they can only contest from 2 Lok Sabha constituencies. It is the recent election reform. And I don't know about the Devi law, how many have contested. And as per the existing rules, a candidate must contest from more than one constituency. If he wins from both, then he has to bear the expenditure that is wrong. Today, even they win from 2 constituencies, the government will bear the cost of the by-election. So you can see Modi has won from Varanasi, and also I think Modi has contested from Varanasi only. So previously, different people have contested from different places. You can take Rahul Gandhi, though he lost in Amethi, even if he has won in Amethi, if he has resigned for it, the re-election, that is by-election, will be conducted at the expense of the government. So that is the major criticism. So that's why the first statement is wrong and the third statement is wrong. So as per the answers, only the second has to be right, because based on that logic. With reference to India, consider the following statement. Judicial custody means when an accused is arrested, the judge sends him for judicial custody. It means he will be placed in the jail and he will be under the watch of the court. If the police want to interrogate him, they have to take him into police custody. So it means he will not be locked up in police station, he will be locked up in a jail which will be under the control of that particular court, and he shall not be harmed in any way by the police. Next is, during judicial custody, the police officer in charge of the case is not allowed to interrogate without the approval of the court. Yes, police have to go to the court and they have to take the permission for police custody and then interrogate him. So that's why second statement is right. The first statement is wrong. So the answer is B. With reference to India, consider the following statements. The prisoner makes out a sufficient case. Payroll cannot be denied to such prisoner. Remember, payroll and bail are different things. So payroll is more a privilege. It is not a right. The payroll is offered based on certain conditions and circumstances to reintegrate a prisoner into the society. And it is not an obligation on the part of the court or the authority to give a payroll. State governments have their own prisoner release on payroll rules. Yes. So you know, prisons, they are managed by the states, and the states, they make different rules across the states. That's why the answer is B2 only. At the national level, which ministry is the nodal agency for Forest Rights Act? That is Ministry for Tribal Development, Tribal Affairs. That is the D is the answer. A legislation which confers on the executive an administrative authority an unguided and uncontrolled discretionary power in the matter of application of law. So obviously, if legislative work is not being done well, this can be questioned. If it is damaging the rights of the citizens, it can be questioned. So in this case, obviously B and D can be removed without any question. But rule of law comes under Article 14. So whenever discretionary power or uncontrolled power is given, that's a damage to the rule of law. And whenever your rights are disturbed, you can approach the court under Article 32. So in this case, which of the article which provides you the power to go to the courts whenever your rights are violated in the matters of application of law? So answer is 32, Article 32 according to me. So if we go for a wider definition of this particular statement, you can also include Article 14. So though our people have given A and C, I will go with the C for this particular answer. Which one of the following in Indian polity is an essential feature of federal character? Obviously, the most important thing in a federal character is written constitution and independent judiciary to act as an umpire between the units, that is political units, union government and state government. So the independence of judiciary is important to protect the federal character. Which one of the following best defines the term state? If you want to define a state, the criteria are defined territory, permanent population, and an independent authority. These three conditions are there. That is what is called a state. So if you see B, C, D, all these definitions, they try to define democracy, democratic characteristics of a state. But what is a state? State shall have a territory and the people who are living in that state, permanent residents, and then the authority which is controlling or regulating those people. So based on the definition of the state, the answer is A. With reference to Indian judiciary, consider the following statements. Any retired judge of the Supreme Court of India can be called back. Yes, Article 128, if I am not wrong, provides for this. But who can call back? Chief Justice of India. Who has to authorize that? President of India. A High Court in India has the power to review its own judgment. Yes, High Court in India also has revisionary jurisdiction. That's why I am going with both 1 and 2. With reference to India, consider the following statements. A citizen by birth only can become the head of the state. Wrong. This is the case in the case of USA, not in the case of India. A foreigner once granted citizenship cannot be deprived. Wrong. If he has got it by fraudulent means, he can be deprived of that. So 2 and 3 are wrong. The answer is 1 only. And the next is, which one of the following factors constitutes the best safeguard of liberty in a liberal democracy? So answer is, both elected government and separation of powers is a safeguard with regard to liberty in a liberal democracy. Both C and D are the right answers. But he has asked for the best safeguard. Always the best safeguard for liberty is throwing the government away. What is the mechanism to throw the government away? Elections. So that's why elected government will be more accountable. So the answer is C. That's why I'm going for C. Next is, under the Indian Constitution, concentration of wealth violates. Obviously, it violates 39B, 39C, which are part of DPSP. Economic equality. This has been promoted through DPSP, not through fundamental rights. Obviously, answer is B for this. What is the position of right to property in India? You know, 44th Amendment Act removed them from fundamental rights and made it as a legal right under Article 300A. So that's where it's a legal constitutional right. Is it available to citizens only? Obviously, right to property also involves freedom to buy and sell the property. Let's take foreigners. They cannot buy the agricultural land in India. And government can take over their properties if it thinks necessary. So in this context, I am going with answer, legal right available to citizens only. What was the exact constitutional status of India on 26 January 1950? So you know, socialism and secularism, or socialist secular, these two words have been added through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. The answer is sovereign democratic republic. These are the words which were there from the initiation of the constitution itself. A constitutional government means a government whose powers are limited by the constitution. That is what is the basic definition of constitutionalism. So that's why answer is D for this. Done. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity, and I wish you all the best. We are going to do wonders, and we are going to take 50 students, and we have created a separate reading room. There are 6 mentors who are selected for the mains program, and we are going to select those 50 students and work with those 50 students in our program. And the cost will not be very high. We give the free reading room and everything to work with the students. And whoever are willing, they can take our number. So the number which is stated in your key at the bottom, and you can request for mains mentorship under that. And remember, the key, entire key for this is been attached in the comment sections below. You can download it from there. In the description and also in the comment section, we are keeping the key document, and you can download and check your key in that. So we are giving 2 documents over here, one with the question, that is set A, and then we are also giving set A, B, C, D comparison document. And if any mistakes are there, in a rush for time, if we did any mistakes, or if you want to debate any of the answer, you can mail us at the number given in the key, or you can talk to us directly. So you can WhatsApp on that particular number. Please give the question number, set number, and then express your doubt. We will get back to you. Thank you very much. We wish you all the best.